Recordings, of course, would be the ultimate proof, and on Friday afternoon, the House Intelligence Committee sent a letter to White House counsel Brooke and Erica asking them to hand over all the tapes, if they exist, within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, Nancy, we now have a Senate investigation, a House investigation, not to mention Robert Mueller's special counsel. What do we know about how these investigations are working together or potentially getting in each other's way?
Well, up until now, the Senate Intelligence Committee really has been the premier investigation in Congress. The House is doing its own investigation, but we didn't see the same kind of bipartisanship there early on that we saw on the Senate side. You had Devin Nunes, the chairman of that committee, having to step aside because he seemed to be advocating for the White House. He made those unusual runs to the White House late at night to look at classified material before anyone else got to look at it. And so that really held the House investigation back. They have been ramping back up lately. You saw the letter that they just sent today to the White House counsel asking for those tapes. They've sent out a flurry of other letters and subpoenas and requests for interviews. And so you do have, at this point, 2 investigations going on in the House and Senate aimed at trying to determine what can be done about Russia's attempts to hack this election, how it can be prevented from happening again, and whether anyone here in the U.S. may have colluded with them. That, of course, is also being looked at by the Justice Department, by the special counsel. And so the Senate Intelligence Committee is hoping to meet with that new special counsel, Robert Mueller, as early as next week to make sure that they don't step on each other's toes, that they aren't seeking to talk to the same witnesses at the same time, because the last thing that they want to do is to interfere with that investigation.
All right, Nancy, so you mentioned that the Senate Intelligence Committee really being sort of the premier investigation here, and it's been a busy year. We know that Thursday was its 9th open hearing this year, twice the historical yearly average. What is next for this committee beyond meeting with Bob Mueller?
Well, they also want to meet with Jared Kushner, the senior advisor, who is also the son-in-law of the president. And it sounds like his meeting, at least with staffers on the committee, will take place behind closed doors within the next couple of weeks. They're also going to be asking him for documents, and they'll want to know more, for example, about why he had this meeting with an executive at a Russian bank that's known to have ties with Russian intelligence during the transition. They'll want to know who set that meeting up, whether he really did, as has been reported, try to set up a back-channel communication between the incoming Trump administration and the Russian government, and whether he was trying to set up similar back-channel communications with other countries before they came into the White House. So we don't have a date yet set for Kushner going before the full committee, and we don't have any indication of whether that would be closed or open, but certainly that would be the kind of hearing that would get a lot of attention in the same way that you saw that Comey hearing this week get so much attention.
Okay, Nancy Cordes joining us from Capitol Hill. Nancy, thank you.
You're welcome.